Hey friends, Kylie here, your host of Dream On with Kylie O'Miller, back for another episode with another professional lacrosse player, someone that I met and got to know on social media first, and a fellow entrepreneur in the lacrosse world. Thank you as always for tuning in. These episodes are recorded from a live Zoom webinar that I hold through the KO17 Lacrosse app and are constructed into this Dream On podcast that you have found here. I hope you are getting some insight from these episodes from some of the people that I have met throughout my lacrosse journey that have imposed so much of their wisdom on me. If you're loving our episodes so far, show us some love in the reviews and rate us 5 stars. Also, be sure to SUBSCRIBE. It would mean the world to us. All right, we've got another special guest this week, and I'm pumped to get right into it. This episode's guest is none other than Angie Benson. Angie is someone whose brain I just had to pick. That's the kind of energy she gives off to those around her. We get a little deep in this conversation. We discover some new wisdoms from the way that Angie likes to think and attack her daily, and we talk about all things lacrosse and life. Angie has been on many different journeys with her unique journey to stardom in the professional lacrosse realm. She's also been involved in the fitness world for quite some time, and now she owns and runs multiple club programs and brands. She talks through how she's learned so much about herself along the way. But most importantly, I learned that she is hungry for so much more. The competition never stops in her mindset, and it's something that she's always chasing in all of her endeavors. I'm excited for you all to take a listen to this episode, as I had a really incredible time learning more about Angie and the way she attacks life every day. Enjoy. All right, welcome everybody back to another Dream On episode. I am super pumped to have Angie Benson on today, another Athletes Unlimited pro player along with myself, someone that I got to know this past professional season. Super grateful for it. She's a Virginia Tech alum. She's in the Team USA player pool. She's the founder of a couple different brands and companies, which is something I'm excited to dive into as well. You know, girl boss things, but founder of AMB Athletics and founder of Dear Lacrosse. But Angie, thank you for being here. Super excited to dive in and yeah, pumped to have you.
I'm excited. Thank you for having me. It's awesome.
Of course. Okay, so here on Dream On, we always start with the same thing. I like to call it off to a good start, just to kind of dive into how you're feeling today in this very general instance. Like when we listen to podcasts, we don't really think about or when I listen to them, right, I don't think about like the actual setting of when it is that they record it. You can listen to it years in advance, right, or months in advance, and you have no idea what's going on.
This happened today. Yeah,
exactly. Okay. So like, what's going on today? So what is something that you are thankful for today, Angie?
Honestly, just the place I'm in life right now. I would say like I'm happy. I'm stressed as no other like boss girl moves, you know how it is, but I would say I'm genuinely happy where I am in life. And I was just thinking about this morning, and that's kind of how I'm feeling, even though I feel like everything's crashing upside down, or maybe it's not, and it's just the way I'm thinking, but I'm happy with the way things are turning out, where I'm in all my relationships with my family and friends and just important people in my life. I'm happy with where my businesses are going. I'm happy even in just my professional career. Like I'm good. I'm good where I'm at. I'm happy. I'm done with school, so I'm good.
I love that because that's such an important thing. Even when the world feels like it's crashing down, it's usually for a good reason. We just forget to think that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, it's because of this. Okay.
Usually because things are going the right way.
Because this is going good. Okay.
That's so funny. All right. Something that you're proud to say that you've accomplished today. Right now it's 2:00 on a Wednesday in October. What have you accomplished so far today that you're proud of?
Today? Right now I just took over like a club team. I merged a couple teams together. So today we're making practice plans, and I'm just happy to see the progression that the team has made from day one, or even just tryouts really, and what type of practices I can now implement, because we just did all this work for about a month and a half. Like, where can we go now? And we're getting ready for our first tournament. So our first like local debut. So I know we have a lot of eyes. There's people that want us to succeed, and then there's people that want us to fail. So I just want them to be prepared, and I feel like they're becoming prepared. So I'm happy where they're at.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. That's not easy. And I love that you said that too, right? There's doubters and there's supporters, and it's always the supporters that you want to make sure that you focus on making proud. That's awesome. All right. Last but not least, something that you're pumped to go out and chase. Could be the rest of today, could be this week, could be in the next coming years. What's something that you're pumped to chase?
Competition. And I feel like that's like a different answer than what
I love it.
But competition, the game never ends.
Here.
I know. I'm sorry. I was like, it's coming out. You want me to be deep over deep. I think like the game's never over, ever. No matter how many times I try to get out of it, I've tried a couple. No matter how many times I do something else in another hobby, I'm always looking to compete. So I don't think I'll ever really find the end to that. I don't think the game truly ends. So I'm just excited to just keep bettering myself in some way in whatever aspect and just keep competing to be better.
That's awesome. And yes, I did. Yes, I was looking for you to get deep because I know that's what you do best, right?
Oh, God.
Taking a quick little time out from our episode here to say a massive thank you for listening. Dream On started off as a way to have conversations with some of the people that I've been lucky to come in contact with and really dig deep into what makes them tick and how they've become so elite in their spaces. If you're enjoying these conversations as much as I have been, please consider rating us with a solid 5 stars and leave us a review. I love hearing all of your incredible thoughts on how we can continue to dream on together with these episodes. Oh, and subscribe if you're feeling cool. All right, let's get back to our guest.
It's fine.
No, it's true. It's what makes you you. It's what, and you said it this morning when you reached out and you're like, hey, I got your email and whatever. You're like, you're a great stalker. And I was like, I've just followed you for a long time. Now we're friends, and now it's cool because we've had multiple conversations, in person, over text and stuff like that. That like
we're not strangers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It makes me understand. Like, hey, when I see this tweet from Angie, like I'm like, okay, I get it. You know what I mean?
You know what's up. But that's what I like. Like I really do keep my immediate circle super small, and like who I let in is small. Like, and I feel like the kids get intimidated by it sometimes because it's like I can know you for 5 weeks and still give you kind of that like wall. But I do keep my circles small, so I try to portray my social media as if the people in my circle know what I'm talking about. It's not for everyone else. It's for my people, and that's. Like, I'm happy that you said that. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, now you know. Like, I was like, you understand. You get it. All right, cool. I'm not the only one in this.
Oh, that's awesome. I feel cool that I'm part of the circle.
Part of the squad.
Part of the squad. Let's go. Okay, so let's talk about, the overarching thing that brings us all together in this world. And like you said, it's kind of like a part of our circle that what's that thing called that you learn about in school? Venn diagram, 2 circles that mesh together.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it, right?
That one, yeah.
We're making the symbols on Zoom right now. Like the thing that meshes us all together is the sport of lacrosse, right? And I know you were talking about how you kind of tried to escape it multiple times, right? And you've come back to it so many times. Let's go back to the beginning. Right? Like, where did you find lacrosse? How did it find you? Where you grew up? Was it something in your family? All that good stuff.
Yeah. Grew up in Palm City, Florida. It's not really on the map. So it's like really new when I started. The rec program I was at was fairly new. It was only about 2 years old. The coaches I've had never played lacrosse. So they were learning as we were learning. Florida's predominantly, I would say, soccer, football, baseball, and you can play those sports all year round. And it's cool. We love it, but we want to get lacrosse there. I was a soccer player, and then I moved to Stuart, Florida, or Palm City, Florida, and I didn't want to play soccer anymore. I was burned out. I didn't want to do it. It just wasn't fun. So I had coaches knocking on my door asking me to play for their club team for soccer. Like literally, like this random guy just like knocked on my door. My mom answered and was like, "Who are you?" And he was like, I heard you're a soccer goalie, like when you go over a team, your neighbors, them, we're friends. Like, so I just figured I'd knock on your door to see if you come play like soccer for us. I'm just like, no.
Literally knocking on the door.
Yeah, literally knocking on the door. And okay. I say that, people think I'm like using a metaphor. I'm like, no, like this guy literally knocked on my door. And I said, no. And he's like, okay, well, if you don't want to play soccer, like we're starting lacrosse, like come out for that. And I'm like, what's lacrosse? And he's like, oh, cool. Okay, come out. So I went out. Like, long story short, he ended up being like my high school coach my senior year. Full circle. Like, I still go back to his like work office when I go home and visit, and we talk out like just life and futures and stuff. So like full circle. But yeah, this guy that just like knocked on my door got me into lacrosse. Middle school, I realized I wanted to play in college. I realized I was like, okay, I have the potential to like be good. Like I thought I wasn't bad. Oh God, you hear my dog drink. Sorry. I realized I wasn't bad. So I was like, could I do something with this? I was an athlete, and then I went to Towson, went there for 2 years. Wasn't having fun. Just wasn't a good spot in my life. Just my dad was sick. I was away from home. I was cold. I'm a Florida girl going in the cold, didn't work out. I don't know. It's just a lot of just different atmospheres, and like I felt like I just wasn't having fun anymore. And the NIL stuff, and I was just like, yeah, no, out. So I got out, started my own business. Obviously a lot more within that story, but long story short, started my own business, and then got a phone call out of the blue by Virginia Tech. And we were just kind of like, I don't know, I was just like talking about it with people one day. I'm like, oh, what if I came back out? Like, that would be funny. And then literally like words into existence, I got a phone, like out of the blue phone call for Tech. And Tech was like, please come play for my team. And I was like, haha, no. And then he was like, look, like you'll graduate, like we'll hook it up for you. We'll set you all up. Like you don't have to pay to play. Like just come and it'll just go from there. Like it'll be fine. And then I said like, well, I'm not coming out of retirement unless I go all the way. Like I'm not going to come out of retirement, play college lacrosse, be on a full college schedule, because I was going to school part-time down in Miami, and play like, I was like, what the heck? I like lived a mile off the beach. I was kayaking every day. Like I was making money. I was traveling the world. Like why would I go to school again? Yeah, like that makes absolutely no sense. And I was like, so if I'm going to do it, like, here's the criteria. Like, this is like, I don't know, I'll put in the work. I'll work my ass off. Like, I'll hustle, I'll grind. I'll talk to whoever you need me to talk to. Like, I'll do whatever you ask me to do. Mm-hmm. But like, you have to promise, because we all know the world of lacrosse. It is a political game, and it's like, who vouches for you? And it's so true. So I was like, I need you to be in my corner. Like, you can't just bring me on and like toss, like I'll give you the results, I'll give you the product, but I need you to also back me up if I do produce these results that you think I'm gonna do coming out of retirement and whatnot. So he was just like, yeah, we're on board. I came in the first 8 weeks. I had 2 weeks to prepare. I didn't do fall ball. I just like literally just picked up a stick, suited back up, got pelted by balls, and like cried a couple times. I couldn't feel my body, and I was like, wow, I don't miss this at all. and then I learned to embrace the suck a little bit. People hear me say that a lot, and like overcome it, understand that like it was an investment. If I'm looking at it from a business standpoint, like I'm investing my time, I invested my business, I had to give up ownership, I invested this, like everything I built, I just invested to throw away for a little bit to hopefully get back in a greater sense. So 8 weeks played, COVID happened, and like honestly Tech was like on kind of a little skyrocket for a little bit. 2020. Everyone, yeah, it was cool. Like it was like, okay, we're doing it. Like hell yeah, like it was great. And then COVID happened, and then like everything just got swept underneath me. Like I just gave up everything, and now my season's over. Like we were doing well. Am I gonna get to the draft? Like what's gonna happen? Like where's the future of my life going? I just left everything. Like what's going on? So obviously NCAA like rules, I could have got a 6th year if I applied for it and like did all this stuff. Tech had like really cool compliance, but like if I just did all these things I was supposed to do, I could have maybe got another year. And then COVID happened, so they're like, yeah, everyone's getting another year. So no brainer. I was like, okay, cool. Guess I like, again, investment. large investment, long-term effect. Let's do this. Let's do it
Always
again.
a businesswoman. Always a
Yeah,
businesswoman.
I was like, investment. It's fine. Like, it just wasn't a scene I've been in. I went to college. I'm good. Like, it just wasn't a scene I was trying to be in. And I was just in a different part in life. So I got back to college and took the next year, and like, we probably didn't perform the way we thought we were going to. Right. And then obviously the COVID regulations was really hard for every team competing. Games were canceled. Kids can play or not play. People had full teams, not full teams, could travel, not travel. So like, everyone's working against the odds in this particular season. And for my personal benefit, yes, the team, but for my personal benefit, like, this was like a make or break type deal for me. This is like where my thought was. I was like, all right, like, I need a team, like, you know, and like, in order for me to do well, or everyone has to do their part. Like, I'm all about everyone taking their piece of the pie. And like, it was so hard for every team to do that because of the protocols that we had in set, and it varied from every school. So came out of this season, not where I expected or wanted or like hoped to be. And it's okay. Like, some people go up once you it's fine. And then we had tryouts, and then I got drafted, and like, I thought in the pro league, like, I had a really rough start adjusting. And then I progressively got better throughout the league. So like, I'm happy where I ended. If I'm gonna just like stop playing lacrosse right now, but I didn't have an off season either. So it was just kind of like go for about a year and a half. And like, I just happy I ended on somewhat of a higher note than where I thought I was gonna end.
That's awesome. I think that like, when some people probably, like, this happens for me now too, right? Like, I get like new followers now, and they see like the part of your story now that they're like, you know what I mean? And that's what they think you know you as. I can guarantee you, whoever's listening to this podcast probably had no idea about all that different background, right? Like, you probably had no idea you went to Towson. No idea that you stopped playing lacrosse for a little while, right? And I think that's so unique. I think that's so, again, cool to your story, because it has a lot to do with how you refound, you know, wanting to be out there again. And something you said in there that, again, I know that you say a lot is embrace the suck. And what I heard from a lot of that story was like, there was a lot of sucky moments. There was a lot of things, like moments and things that were like taken from beneath you. You had nothing else to do but kind of like grind through and look for the positives and look for, you know, again, like the long-term investment of what you wanted to do. And when you think about that long-term investment, like, was that for you being able to play professionally, being able to play at the highest level, or you weren't even sure yet in the moment, but you think now that you've done it, maybe that was what it was?
Yeah, I mean, I think losing brings out a lot in people, right? Everything's super cool when we're winning. Everyone's kumbaya and like happy. But when we're losing, everyone handles dealing with losing differently. And I think losing's different than playing bad. I feel like I handle playing bad differently than handle losing differently. Because if I play bad and we lose, that's like a double whammy to me, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, now I feel like I didn't do my part. And that's where I felt for a really long time. I felt like I was not doing my part, that I wasn't providing what I said I was going to provide in that little time. I felt little, like I wasn't, like I had the worst statistics in my entire career. My last year of college, it was miserable. And like, that's on me. Like, I'm taking that on me. So it's like, how do I get out of that? And that was like thinking, yes, long-term investment, like every up, there's downs. I knew at some point, like, there's going to be a roadblock. And right now my roadblock was me. It was like my mental state of being on the up. So now it was like, maybe it's a reality check. Maybe it's a slap in the face. Maybe it's the universe, I don't know, telling me something like, chill out. Like, you need to stop doing what you're doing. Maybe take a different pivot. So I started reading a lot more mindfulness, just how to be an athlete in the present and stuff. And like, I was all into that, but I slipped it. Like it went away. I lost it. And that's who I was not playing. So I was like, how do I get my not playing self into my playing self and be happy? Like, you know, like how do I do that? And I think AU did a really good job at that, because like a lot of your surroundings was controlled by you in a way. But yeah, like at the end of the day, I was like, investment, long-term, play at the top of my game, somewhat succeeded. I'm still in the pool, not on the team. Like, it's like, how do I move up in the draft at AU? So it's like, no, like, yes, I succeeded the overall goal, but not really. I didn't, not to like the standard that I wanted to set myself in. So I still feel like I'm in the investment. I don't think the investment's not over. And that's why I'm saying, like, I'm always chasing competition. Like, I just don't think bettering yourself or like you're ever done bettering yourself.
Love that. Because I do think like the best investments don't ever necessarily have an end point, right? There's no like, when you sit there, I mean, when you think about finances, you don't sit there and be like, okay, by this date, I'm done with this investment.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sick. Yeah.
You know, like it's not an end.
I made X amount of money. I'm good.
Yeah, like right there, wherever it is, I'm done. Like,
yeah,
no.
There's always, you're always 3 moves ahead. Like, what's the next move? What's the next move? There's pros and cons, obviously, to all that type of thinking. But like, I'm mid-20s. Like, that's where I'm at right now. I gotta grind. Like, I'm trying to put a roof over my head, food over my plate. Like, this is what my thought process is right now. Might change in 2 years, but that's what it is right now.
If it doesn't change in a couple of years, then I think we're doing something wrong, right? That's at least
right.
have taught me. All right, if our goals are staying the same year after year, then we might be doing something wrong. But
more change for sure.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so walk us through like your entire kind of like journey through collegiate lacrosse into AU, and we'll get like kind of specifically into like a little bit more about your goals with AU and whatnot. But when you think back to like being a kid and back when you played soccer and all that good stuff, right? And you said you were a little bit burnt out and then you found lacrosse, like lacrosse kind of found you, which is such a cool story, by the way. I didn't know that one. I learned something new on my own podcast every time I do it, but
that's the point of it.
Yeah, you said I was a good stalker, but I wasn't that good. But yeah, what do you think? Like, I know you're a coach now, you're director of a program as well. Like, what do you think talking to younger kids and even parents and even things that you put out on social media about like other sports, playing lacrosse, playing other sports, doing other hobbies, making sure that these kids are invested in things outside of lacrosse, as well as, you know, taking time to perfect their craft in lacrosse? Like, what are some of your, I guess, pieces of advice when it comes to that to your young kids?
So that was the biggest thing when I started this club program. I like coaching, but for me, I have to I need people around me to help. Does that make, like, I need help, and that's the best way I can put it in like the most diplomatic answer. I can't do everything by myself. I'm really good at what I'm good at. I'll admit that I'm really good at what I know, but sometimes there's stuff I don't know, and I need people to help me with that. So I knew coming into this program, I need a solid support system and a team of coaches to do that. So I made sure my whole entire coaching staff was like doing something in their life. Okay. So like my staff, I have 2 of them getting into med school. One just took her bar exam. Another one has a good salary paying job. They're all accomplished female athletes who've been in their shoes before and are doing great things in life that aren't necessarily like me, who play lacrosse as a profession. It's just like, these are people that were in your shoes, and look at all of us. Like, we all ended up in different realms of life and we're all doing really well. So I wanted to show that to the girls, and that's not a thing in Florida. It's very rare when you have a all-female coaching staff that all played at a collegiate level or maybe a higher level. It's not a thing here. So I was like, okay, how do we do that? Next is like, what have I learned from this new era of lacrosse, I like to call it, like this new way of thinking? What have I learned through all the programs that I've been in as a player because of what that program provided? So now it's like, what were my resources for me to be successful? So now we're doing charity events as a team, and we're doing stuff for the holidays. We're raising money for XYZ. We're getting kids on board on scholarship. It's just like, this is who we are now. Like, so I know everyone's coming from different backgrounds, but like, be friends right now because we're all sharing that common purpose. So like, put your differences aside. We're here to play lacrosse and be better people off the field. I do think coaching between my time away from the game helped me as a player. And it's also cool is that my whole staff is not parents. So how often are you coached by a parent? So we take that kid aspect outside of everything because we don't have kids. And we understand that we want your kids to be safe, but we don't have kids. So we're not putting that parental umbrella on how we do things. We're doing things what's best for the player, not for my child. So I think having nutritional resources, having mindfulness resources, we have virtual sessions with coaches, we do film sessions, we're on score break. Like it's like providing my resources, I feel like will change these kids' lives and like look at what's around them, and hopefully they can take a piece of that. And even if they don't want to play in college, I don't care. I just want them to leave this program and be like, damn, I came into this program like this and I left this program like this, and now I can do all these things because I learned from this program. So that's the goal. Hopefully I answered that question. I don't really know, but
No,
like
I love it.
that was it.
That's amazing, because I think that, I think that's something that is one of my main goals as well with my business, is to provide exactly what you said, provide your resources personally, the ones that you've been provided from your awesome opportunities, to the people who want to work with you, right? Like if they want to work with you, they should have access to your resources as well. And because they're just going to make them better people. And I love that, you have an all female staff, they're all doing different things in their lives. And you also have that aspect of showing like, hey, it is possible if you do want to do lacrosse full time, like that is a possibility too, right? Like, but you can also be like X, Y, and Z, right? A bunch of my friends are also lacrosse coaches, but med school, nurses, like X, Y, and Z. So it's a really unique opportunity, because it is such a really, great way to just showcase that there's so many differences, so many different areas that you can go through, but it all has that common base of lacrosse and all those things you can learn from your program. So that's really cool. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for all your upcoming events and things coming out. And
thank you.
Yeah, it should be awesome. I'll be following along because I'm the world's best stalker, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing pretty well. You're doing. I do like you've seen me on interviews. It's like no one asks me questions. No one asks me what I think. Like no one asks me like things that I haven't already answered. So I'm just like, okay, this is a nice like
nice break. No,
and
that's what I try to do with these, right? Is because I've done the same. I've been interviewed by a lot of different things. And it's, it's funny. I thought about it the other day. It was like a phone call interview, and they were just writing an article on me. And it was the same questions that I was being asked 3 years ago when I just graduated from Stony Brook.
Yep.
And it's like, you don't have anything new. I haven't done anything the last 3 years to ask
I was like, there's like 6 articles on that topic already. Exactly. Can you ask me another question? Thanks.
I could just send you the link to that last article. You could read there.
You can follow me on Instagram. You can keep up. I promise. Like I swear.
No, it's true. And I get it. Like, and I think that it's so great that you're also working on mindfulness and nutrition, like you said, with these young girls, because that's, again, something that I do with KO17 lacrosse as well. And I think it's so important, even just to ask these questions that like, get you to think and get you to go deeper. Like we were talking about, like, these are the conversations that I like to provide my KO17 girls. Cause like you said, they can read all the articles they want about you, but they're not really going to get that deep.
Yeah, no one knows this. Like people know it, but they don't write about it. Put it that way. So it's like,
exactly. And if they
there's more to me than
the wrong way.
Yeah, I was like, no, there's more.
I promise there's more. I promise. We'll get to it on Dream On. There we go. Okay, so talking back to full circle AU, right? What's crazy is like yesterday they just announced that basketball is coming to AU, which is super cool. I'm pumped about that, right? Just like growing. And I think that's something, it's like a majorly overused term in the lacrosse world, is growing the game. I almost like don't like the term anymore, but like it's,
cliche now, little cliche, but yes,
but it's literally what we're all trying to do.
It is. It's matter of fact. It's matter of fact.
Very matter of fact. So it's a positive thing but it's like overused. So I think in what I'm trying to kind of connect here is like, what has been the coolest moment for you in seeing Athletes Unlimited kind of like, I guess, branch out in a sense, or even just provide what it provided for us this past summer? And just kind of like your experience with being able to play at the pro level and all of your goals kind of coming to fruition like that.
Yeah, I mean, AU provided like so many opportunities. And I think what's really cool about AU, like, even though it like kind of came from like the lacrosse world, like, yeah, lacrosse couldn't like, it wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the people in the world. But AU is so separate from the lacrosse community. It is a breath of fresh air. Like I at first I didn't like it for the reasons I was like, okay, these people that know like nothing about lacrosse but know stuff about female sports, and I was like, what are they gonna do for like lacrosse? Like, what is this? Like obviously had like really skeptical ideas towards it. It was a model that was new, and I was like, point system, what is, like, you know, it's like, right. and I feel like a lot of people kind of came into that way. It wasn't just like me being pessimistic, but it was like, okay, like this is something that's never been done within our little tiny circle of a bubble we call lacrosse. So like this is like going to be a shock to the world if this actually pulls off. Like I think it's really cool. It's really different, really innovative. And then like the players have the most say, and it's like women voices saying a lot of things. I love it. It's cool. So yeah, I'm all about it now. But at first it was interesting because I didn't understand it. But now that I understand it, I'm really happy I went through it. And I was like, oh, this is why. And the fact that it's so far away from the lacrosse community. And I was like, man, if these people don't know about lacrosse, like what's the deal? And like, honestly, it's now a new perspective into the community. And it's like people are getting posted who you might not have ever seen in the lacrosse community. And it's just, I think that is what's cool about AU, that like it's very an unbiased, like it's just matter of fact, like this is what it is. Here are the numbers. This is what we're doing. Here are the people XYZ. This is like, I don't know. It was just like, I thought I don't want to say the word correct, but like it made sense. It made sense. And as much as I didn't think it would make sense, it made complete sense. And yes, there is times where we didn't really know what was going on, but that's like new business stuff, like this is what happens when you start, like, you know what it's like starting a new business. They're starting a new business at like a very high level, and like no one in right. So now that they're adding other sports into like our new bubble, like we have like a new bubble to jump into. And like softball, the Alexander, that picture from JMU, right? She blew up. Now she's in our little bubble, and I would have never been in the same bubble if I was just in the lacrosse community. So I am like super hyped about this whole entire thing, because I feel like assuming everything's going well, assuming like all things go to plan and whatnot, and we get over the speed bumps, like really people in the lacrosse community can't touch this. So it was like, wow, they're their own thing. So I am hyped. Personally, how I went into it, I didn't know what to expect, so I had no expectations. To be brutally honest, I had expectations on my personal performance, but I had no expectations on like how I did overall. Like I didn't have expectations comparing myself to other people. I had expectations comparing myself to me. Is that like, I don't know if that made sense, but like,
no, absolutely. I think as an elite athlete at any, or elite performer in anything, right? Anybody listening can kind of understand that. And I think that's kind of what, like, at least for me, I think that a lot of us kind of like came to, right? Like going into, like you said, it was a little bit skeptical because it was like, how is this going to work? How am I going to measure up? And again, like you said, like it's easy to compare yourself to a past self of your own, right? Or like kind of go in and be like, I have expectations for myself to be this great. But it's also like in an experience like that, you don't want to think about other people, but like it starts to creep in a little bit, right?
Creeps because you're in a bubble.
Yeah. And that's also how it's kind of like meant to be. So I think like when you're talking about like skepticism going into it, I think that that's what a lot of us probably were subconsciously skeptical about, was like comparing ourselves as players to each other because of the leaderboard, because of this, because who was being drafted, where, when, why, right? And like, I think coming out of it, at least personally, the coolest part about it was recognizing like after the first weekend that you got the most points for winning a quarter and winning a game, you know, team stuff. So
team stuff.
All of a sudden it was like, oh, okay, so it is lacrosse, right? Like,
so I have to be nice to you again. Okay, yes.
We have to be good teammates. We have to like not worry about ourselves, you know, like go to, like you said before, like make sure that your piece of the pie is to your best standard so that the best team can win, and then we'll all succeed. So I think that was like the coolest part for me, was recognizing that like in the middle of going through like, wow, this is a new experience. And then being, no, it's literally just lacrosse. Like, let's just do what we were made to do. And it's on such a cooler stage than we've ever seen, right? A bigger stage, more eyes. And again, to your point too, in a community that we probably would have never had access to without AU, made of all female athletes, which is pretty dope.
Sick.
Which is pretty dope. So,
hey guys, Kylie here. A short break from our conversation to remind you to check in on our social channels. You can find little snippets from our episodes on Instagram at dream.on_pod. And if you're a lacrosse stud looking for a unique way to train and develop into the best version of yourself, like our guest here most definitely has, check out the KO17 Lacrosse app in the App Store. That's KO17 Lacrosse. And at DREAM_ON_POD on Instagram. Come join the fam and we can keep dreaming on together. Okay, enough of that. We back.
I think like that kind of ties into like another thing that I wanted to ask you about, right? Is like social media and all that, right? I know that a lot of, a lot of what we did on AU blew up because of social media, right? I know a lot of the connections that I've made over the last year and a half was because of social media, right? Because of COVID and whatnot. And like you make friends with people that you haven't even met in person yet. But we will one day. But like, I think social media is such a powerful, but yet sometimes overwhelming tool, right? Especially with the platforms that we have. So I think like, at least personally, like I find myself needing strong breaks from it, right? Posting, the reposting, the everything that comes with it. But at the same time,
it's awesome.
It's privilege, right? It's such a blessing.
Yeah.
How do you kind of deal with like the struggles, if you kind of do go through those struggles as well? Or at the same time, what are some of the things that you want to accomplish with your social media?
Wow, never asked that question. Social media is so weird. It's so weird. I have like a love-hate relationship with it. Yeah. And I think where I'm at is that I don't work for anyone. Mm-hmm. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I don't do things for other people. So I have fair game to do whatever I want. And that is scary because I'm not tied to a school name anymore. I'm not really like, I'm just tied to being a professional lacrosse player. I'm not necessarily tied to a league in a way. So it's because the whole thing is being yourself, so like I still have free range. Yeah. I think my social media is weird because my platform is in so many different places. So I got followers from being a player at Towson, just playing, and people liked me because of my playing skills. And then I get a different realm because when I left Towson, I went to the fitness realm. So now I got like all your gym guys, like now is my new platform. And then I came out of retirement and now I went back to tech, and now I'm in a bigger scope in like the ACC and like a higher team and like all this stuff. And like, I just came out of the blue and I'm starting. It was like a whole thing. So then I got all that. So now I had that story come out. And then the whole 2020, like social media, justice, just everything, COVID, everything in 2020 happened. Okay. And then I blew up from that. And then now I get invited to do tryouts. And then that was something different. And then I get drafted. So that's a whole nother platform. So like my platform's been shifting and now I'm like back into my fitness realm. So it's like, I notice when I post who my audience is, which is it like messes with you. And you don't mean it, you don't want it to mess with you. You don't mean it to mess with you, but like whatever chemical that releases in my brain when I see like a post doing well, that like kind of feels good. And I'm not gonna like deny that. But also I don't like sharing, like no one knows who I really am on social media. Like now that you know me and now even this conversation and then you see my social media, yeah, it makes sense. but it's not the full truth. Like, obviously you're not going to know what I do. Like, people probably think I'm such a loner and I have no friends because I don't post with anyone. So it's like, but that's not true. I hang out with people every single, like, you just don't know. So where I want my social media platform to be, like, I don't even have a blue check. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, I just, like, whatever people want it to be. So I'm at the point where I'm just posting whatever I want to post. And like I said, I'm not a parent. I don't have kids. Like, yes, I'm coaching kids, but I'm still myself. I'm still a player. I'm still my own entity. I'm still my brand. I'm still me. Like, people buy my workouts not because they're like, I'm a trainer, but because it's something I'm doing and they see that it's working. So now they want to try it. So like, how do I get my brand out there? And what do I want my own personal brand to me, since I'm not tied to anything? And that's where I don't know where to go. Like, I'm just posting whatever. I'm just updating people now. It's like a blog at the moment. I'm just like, update. And then that's it. Like, I have no sense of direction of what I'm doing with my social media at this very moment. Hopefully it does something, but I'm not making money off of it. So if I could, maybe
one day. No, I love it. I think that's kind of where I was going with that question, right? Is like, that's what it should be. It's your own profile, thing. Right? It's you. Yeah. It should be whatever you want it to be. And I think that's really cool too, is that you have all those different demographics in your audience. So whatever you do post, they're following you for that specific reason, right?
Yeah.
Any little one piece of you. So whatever it is that you post, like, you're gonna,
those people, yeah, it's weird.
To one part of it, no matter what. So it's really just for you. And I think that's like something that is helpful for young kids too, who are growing up in an age of social media. Helpful for people like us who, like you said, our personal selves is our brand, is our business, kind of. So like, that's an interesting kind of thing as well. Yeah, it's an interesting take, because like you said, you want to give enough so that people understand what's going on and can really kind of like relate to you and relate to your brand, but you're never giving the full thing. So I think it's always just a balance. And I think that what you're doing is awesome, is being able to just be yourself and just posting when you feel like posting.
Yeah, like,
right?
That's a contract, right? Yeah, I'm like, whatever.
Love it. So when you talking about like the fitness realm, right? And this was on my notes, but when did you kind of get into, like, really get into fitness? I know this is something that's again, like, in your daily life and everything like that. You're on a whole new program, right? I follow you, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's become a heavy part of your daily life. So when did you kind of really get into that? And then what kind of made you come back into it right now?
Yeah, I was on the weightlifting team in high school. It was weird, but like, you gotta understand, Florida sports, like, we don't have winter. It's not a thing. So we don't have like winter sports. So when we have Title IX and other sports come into play, like, we have flag football for girls, we have weightlifting, like, we don't have field hockey, like, so we have to come in and bring other sports to play. And it was just, I don't know, like, Marion County High School, man, like, people just come out of that thing and you're just like, yeah, that's Marion County, but it's not on the map. But all these, like, someone's in Broadway, someone's in NFL, like, awesome. Yeah, it's just like, someone's like this well-known photographer. It's just like a little, like, people do well in Palm City. So, but you don't know anything about it. So it was just the thing where, like, the lacrosse team just did weightlifting. Like, it was a social environment for the team. I wouldn't say they were serious, but like, it was just like another thing to do in the winter. You got a varsity letter, you can go compete, you like make fun of the singlets, and like, you call it a day, you say you weightlift, and like, that's that. And there's girls that like take it into the fitness realm. There's girls that compete in powerlifting. And then there's girls that are like, yeah, I kind of work out. I know how to now if I want to. So that's a cool aspect. So then I got into it that way. The seniors were like, and you need to do weightlifting, like, make the lacrosse, like, we just get more people for lacrosse and we can just run weightlifting. And I'm like, oh God, okay, cool. So I go, I'm like this weird kid. Okay, I'm a weird kid freshman year. We go, and I just like fell in love with it. It was an individual sport, which was so new to me. I've never played an individual sport in my life, which is probably why I think the way I think now in my team sport scenarios. Like, yes, I'm about the greater good of the team, but like I said before, if I'm not doing my part, or I feel like I'm not doing my part, like, either I need to know or get out, or like, I'm not happy with the performance. So like, I think I get that from this individual sport aspect, and it's measurable. lacrosse isn't necessarily measurable on whether or not you get better. And it's hard for me to rate how well my success is. Like, yes, I could have a bad save rate, but like measure all the factors. What also is that? Like, where is everything? So that fluctuating between individual and team sports was hard in high school, because the only one to blame in weightlifting was me. If I didn't get a lift, that's my fault. If I didn't make weight, that's my fault. Like, there's no one else to point fingers at. So I just got into it. I saw myself progress when your max goes up. Like, when you see your max go up, you see your body start changing. Like, you're in puberty, like you're starting to fill out form, and now you can like start sculpting your body and like how you want to make it. And I didn't have to be like an athlete. I didn't have to perform the way you would as like a runner athlete. I now had to perform as a strong athlete. And that was like such a different take than lacrosse. I think lacrosse is a powerful athlete. And I think weightlifting is also obviously powerlifting, but like it's a strength sport. And it's like strength mentally because you have to make weight. And it's strength like physically because you're cutting weight, but also trying to be stronger at the same exact time. And you're going through puberty. So let's just imagine like female bodies in that whole entire scenario. And on top of that, this is the first time we're learning how to lift. We're like in men's sports, like little boys learn how to work out a lot earlier than little girls. So I'm already behind in like the age spectrum of when to start lifting. Went to states for 3 years in a row. I just got into it. I loved weightlifting season. I was using my social media and I ended up getting like little sponsor offers for like just apparel companies, because I was just like a young kid that was strong lifting and people just thought it was cool. And then going into college, NCAA lacrosse, they're like, yeah, no, nip that. So like I didn't do anything with that. And then I started just like, I don't know, being a lacrosse player. So I went to college and did the run test, did their workouts, and I went home and I was like, I'm going to do my workouts. Like I want to know what I can do. I don't know what I can do. Does that make sense? I wanted to know like how far I can push my limits. Fell in love with it again, like just got really into it. Then when I left, I was having a really weird identity crisis when I quit Towson. So I wasn't a lacrosse player anymore. So what was I? Don't know. So I was like, okay, let me find something. I was used to getting gym clothes for free because I was on a team for the past 10 years of my life. So like, I didn't want to wear my team stuff. I wanted to like disassociate with like my whole lacrosse life. So like, where am I going? So I went back into fitness realm. I sold a lot of supplements. Like that was like the main source of my income when I was 20, was just selling Advocare products. I did photo shoots for an apparel company. Like it was just like, I can now sculpt and I didn't have to pass a run test. I just had to look the part. I didn't have to be an athlete. I just had to look the part in my fitness thing. And like, it was fine. Then I came back to tech and I was like, oh crap, looking the part really sucks playing lacrosse. So I like died and like couldn't run because I was so heavy. And like, it was just like a miserable time getting back into lacrosse shape. So now I took that into it and then left college, right? Going into pro league, I'm my own coach. Yeah. No one's telling me what to freaking do. So now I'm going to figure out how I play, not how people want me to play, not in someone's system. There is no systems in AU. It's every man for themselves and hopefully they work as a team. Okay. So it's like, there's no system. You can put in a set, but there's no like, this is what you're doing or you're getting yanked out type deal. Like your starting spot's not threatened. So that's my goal. It's like go over film, like be like player coach to the max, like whatever. I'm in Florida. I have no one around me to like really help me that much. So I'm just gonna like watch some film, like dissect it with a strength and conditioning coach that I trust. We're gonna make up just new drills. That's the goal. Make up just everything I did in the past. I'm just gonna kind of throw away and like make up absolutely new drills. Bring that to coming in clutch. That I teamed up with Tara Morano with, and she has her own drill. So we're just gonna like, all right, new school, like bullies can shoot. Okay, I'm gonna practice shooting. Like that's like, why not? The game's changing. So like, why not teach that? Like, why tell a kid like don't learn how to shoot? Because honestly, if I knew how to shoot in the pro league, it might have been just a little bit helpful. Just once, maybe, just because if I
Shot
knew
around a couple times. We shot
right,
around.
you know what I mean? But like, I wouldn't even be in that position if I knew. I was like asking you, like, yo, is this right? Like, am I doing it right? And now I have to shoot with the goalie stick because it's legal. But it's legal in the boys' game the whole entire time, but it's not legal in the women's game. And now it's legal, and you see all these male goalies scoring, getting like sick highlights, like doing the quote unquote impossible, like behind the back goals in the PLL. It's absolutely sick. Like, we need to do that for our side. So I was like, okay, I want to train that. That's what I'm chasing right now. Like, I want to train for that. Like, how do we get the girl side to catch up to the boy side and that aspect?
I love that you said that, because I think that's something that we're all really, really passionate about, right? And I think that's something that we all kind of cross over to, right? I don't think that the boys side wants to see us any lower than them either. I think they're like super supportive of everything that we do. And I think that's the really cool part about the lacrosse world, right? Is
everyone supports.
Everyone's like, let's just all get on the same level. Like when we were playing AU, like some of our biggest fans were some of the PLL guys, right? And like that's exactly how it should be. And I totally agree with you. I think that's really great that you're like, because that's something that I'm starting to do with my trainer as well, is like, okay, we've been doing the same thing for like 6 years, right? Like,
let's make new stuff.
And it's worked.
It's good. It works.
Right?
I'm not saying you don't know what you're doing.
What's next?
Yeah. What's next? That's
right?
The chasing I'm talking about. Like, that's the competition I'm talking about. Like, you're always chasing, like, what's new?
Exactly. What's new? And like, what can we take that like we've done already? Like, okay, now we know we can do that. Like, what's the stuff we haven't done yet? Right?
How can we elevate it?
Right. I love that. And kind of like, I guess, tossing that over to the other side of what you're doing, because you're a player, right? But you're also an entrepreneur. So businesswoman, player, coach, director, all these different hats that you wear. Talking on like being a businesswoman first, right? Talk a little bit about Ambi Athletics and Deer Lacrosse. Like, what do those two mean to you? Where did the ideas come for you? And kind of like a little bit of your goals for those things.
Yeah. Ambi Athletics came after Towson. I like, to skip the small part of the story I said before, I ended up going to Palm Beach Atlantic for like a semester on a lacrosse scholarship, but I lasted like 48 hours on the team. I didn't even get like my gear or anything like that. I was like, yep, I quit again. Like that. It was just like, I should have just freaking quit the first time, and I didn't. And then I had to like quit again. But what was funny, the coach at the time there was like, I need you as like a player coach. Like, come here and like be a player coach. Like, come help what you did at Towson. Because like when I played at Towson, we were successful. We were top 20 at the time. Mm-hmm. So it's like we were a successful program too. And like even with Stony, like we were always like double overtime like games at that time. Yeah. So we basically wait, where was I? The
player coach.
Yes, he was like, player coach, please like help me do stuff that you did at Towson at this thing, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm not doing that for you. Like, I'm out of here. Like, what the heck? And I was like, wait, that's genius. Like, if this college coach wants to get me to come here, to come coach, why can't I just do that now in Florida, where there are no coaches that played? So it's like, that's like a way bigger. I was like, oh, ding, ding, ding. Like, cool. So I was like, Ambi Athletics, I hit up like all my friends in the area that I played lacrosse with back in high school. I still work, my whole staff, besides like one person, I played with at some point. Yeah, it's sick. Like, and now it's like, hey girls, like we all played at different teams at different times. Like, look at us now. I combined it, and I was like, you're in this city, I'm in this city, you're in that city. Like, let's start just like planting seeds in cities. We got to like 5 different cities in Florida. And like, we're just running like hundreds of hours a month of lessons in Florida. It was insane. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, you know, like, awesome. And I like, again, I wasn't anything, like I wasn't a pro. I just came out, like I played well at Towson, like, but people from Florida just wasn't a thing. Like, it just wasn't like, my class went and they're still in college. So like, I was the first one out of my class. So like, my friends came home from college, summer was packed. It was just like, I still kept relationships in the lacrosse world. So that's why I like was like, I never left the game as much as I wanted to. I never really did. So that's where that was at. That was putting food on my plate. And now it's just here, the club team runs a lot of it. Everything's fictitious names underneath A and B. So A and B is the one big umbrella right now. Dear Lacrosse, it's actually a brand. It's more of a trademark or an artwork, you would say. So we just said that was the activewear of A and B athletics, and like that's how that was incorporated through A and B. The club teams, I have 3 of them, and yeah, they're just the club teams. Those are all underneath A and B athletics, and then I just opened up a new company with Taylor Moreno, and that's coming in clutch. So that's how like that whole thing like
Love
kind
it.
of funneled in. So
So coming in clutch, what's that?
It's a goalie academy, right? Growing up, I didn't have a goalie coach. My first goalie coach was in college. So I went to a couple of goalie camps, but I felt like I was learning the same thing at every single camp. Like it was just like, or the camp didn't really do anything to goalies, and I was just like target practice. So like either way, it just wasn't like, I just didn't feel like I got what I got in college at my younger level of play. I met up with Taylor at USA tryouts. We were always like rivals technically in the same conference. Never really talked, but always knew about each other. And it was just like, yo. And we were talking about goalie swag because like obviously both of us care about our goalie drip. It's just how it is. Look good, feel good, play good. And we were just talking about that. We got into camps and basically we're like, yo, I think we have an idea. And then we're just like spitting fire. And it got to the point where we started thinking the same things at the same time. And I was like, oh, this is gonna work. Like I was like, this is gonna be a thing. So there's things I jump onto, and then there's things I kind of like take my time with. And this was like the one thing that I was like, I'm gonna take my sweet, sweet time, put all my ducks in the row, all my eggs in certain baskets. Like Taylor's gonna do the same, and then we're gonna just launch it. So we've been talking about it since tryouts. And then we just launched it like 2 weeks ago. Our first clinic's in Boston. It's 2 days, 3 hours each. And then we're thinking about being in Long Island, being in North Carolina, maybe in Florida, Colorado. Like we're thinking about just doing like a tour once a year and like call it a day and just do all new school goalie training. Like try and think of stuff that you just really didn't do growing up. Even me, like even stuff I didn't do. Now that AU is contact, the way it is, like, okay, we need to start training like that. It's like, how do we do that? How do we shoot on the run? Like, how do you, what happens when you were in my position and I had to run the ball to get it over the line? And like, now what, you're now an offensive player, whether you like it or not. What do you do? So like, how do we teach those things? And that is like just the really big goal. She's still in college. She took her extra year, which is kind of ironic. So I got like my NIL thing all messed up when I went back, and it wasn't a rule. And now it's a new rule. So now we can have her NIL in the like, now it's just like I can join forces with like my friends. Like that's cool, even though they're still in college. So that's how that came out. Yeah.
I saw that announcement a couple of weeks ago, and I thought it was really, really exciting. So I wanted you to make sure that you explained it for our listeners, because that's the stuff that lacrosse needs. That's the stuff that a lot of sports need, is like the creativity and the uniqueness and everything like that. And it's exactly what you guys are kind of going for. So again, I know you texted me this, but if you need any shooters on Long Island, let me know. I'll be there.
Probably. Probably.
I love it. Okay. We're getting into our last couple sections here. But one piece that I like to kind of end up our discussions with is like a little bit of inspiration. Of course, asking you to go deep a little bit here, but I know a lot of us have different mentors and different pieces of things that kind of stick with us really throughout life. So what would you say, like maybe from a mentor or a special person in your life, or even just like a quote, whatever it would be, but one piece of advice that you've kind of taken into life and like through your day to day?
I have it tatted actually. This is a good one. People come into your life for a reason, season, or a lifetime. And I think that is like something that people don't really understand, right? People have walks of life come into their life and they expect either forever or not forever. Maybe it's a motive. What's the point of that relationship? Why are they there? Do you need something? Do they need something? Like people don't look at like what category that person's in. And it's like, where's our friendship? Like, it's like, are you a reason, season, or lifetime? And like, when we start thinking like that, I'm like, oh, okay, that's how I'm going to start going through life. And I think it keeps it honest for my support system, because I want the people that are in the lifetime section as my support, not the reason, and definitely not a season, but I want the reason in lifetime for sure.
That's awesome. I've never heard that one before. So again, learning something new on my own podcast every time. Love it. Little wisdoms. Okay. So then flipping that around, what do you think is one piece of advice or inspiration that like you would want someone listening or following you to take from you?
This is tricky. I was like,
yeah.
If you meant it, don't apologize for it, because that was your true self. So like, if you meant doing something, and let's say you get backlash from it, but you truly thought it was like the right thing, and or like, even if it was the wrong thing and you just stood by it. If you stood by it in that moment, just stand by it, like continue to stand by it, because you felt that way at some point. So like, it's okay if you felt that way, but stand by how you feel, stand by who you are. And if you're authentic, then like, that's what's going to draw in people, even if what you stand by wasn't good.
Right. I love that. Be unapologetic.
Different way. That was a little cliche. I had to like spin it off. Yeah.
No, that's great. I think that's really, really important stuff, because like a lot of times I try to explain that, like being unapologetic, right?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, but I think like you said it perfectly, right? Like whatever you thought or whatever you really believed in or whatever you like really wanted to wear in that moment, or you were whatever you wanted to express yourself in that moment, like stand by it for that moment, because it was you at that moment.
It was you.
Yeah. Even if maybe like 7 years later, you're like, wow, what was I wearing?
That was crazy, man.
It was you in that moment, right? Like, and I think that's a really cool point that you just made. Okay. So we have one question from our KO17 lacrosse fam for you. And I think it's actually a really cool question. I like loved it when I read it, but how do you play with so much confidence? Sometimes I lose my confidence for the rest of the game after making a mistake. So how do you keep your confidence in?
Oof.
Yeah.
Do I play with that much confidence? I thought I played you've been on my team. I was like, I am like,
hey, what you portray,
baby.
Right?
I guess I'm good at hiding it. Just because I can carry it doesn't mean it's heavy, right?
Love it.
I mean, short-term memory as a goalie is so important, even in life. I feel like kind of like not forgive and forget, but just forget, like just kind of get rid of it. Something will come back to haunt you maybe, but like something you just like throw it away. And that's how I feel about goals, right? Like, all right, it happened, my bad. I say my bad a lot. I apologize a lot when I play, and it's just like, and I feel like that one shows like how hard I am on myself. Like, even if it's not my fault, I'm still like, oh damn, my bad. Like, I'm always like, sorry, like, my job is to stop the ball, and I didn't. Okay. Like, next one. So that short-term memory loss is just like, all right, that's part of the game. It's a high-scoring game. It is what it is. Not even to think, it's probably a bad way of thinking, but like, if it's a high-scoring game and both goalies are getting lit up, then like, this is how the game's gonna be. Like, it's not just you. So you're just like, oh, this is a fast-paced high-scoring game. You just gotta get over it. But confidence-wise, I was watching Grey's Anatomy, and
love it.
Amelia Shepherd and the Superman pose. Right? You remember that section? Okay, I don't want to give away for people who don't watch this stuff, but the Superman pose, and you'll see me stand with my chest up and my hand on my hip a lot. Might not be both hands, but it's always chest up, head up, hand on the hip. And even if I'm pissed off, that's what it is. And like, and I try to keep the same expression, even if I'm excited too. It kind of keeps me just leveled. So that's probably why you think I have a lot of confidence, because I try to stand that way to make sure I get confidence. Because if I don't stand that way, there's nothing. You know, it's just like I I look good, feel good, be good. Like I have to at least like act the part in order for me to believe that I'm okay.
Right. Love that Superman pose. I love that. That's really great. And I think that what you said as well, when you first heard that question, kind of resonates with a lot of us, right? At our level. I think,
I was like, wait, what?
well, that's what I mean. We portray so much confidence, again, social media, like when you have a great game, when the media portrays you as this like superhero, right? But we're just humans, right? We're just humans trying to get through it and try to, like you said, give ourselves the best amount of confidence that we possibly can while we're physically in that moment. No matter what level you get to, you're still going to struggle with confidence, no matter who you are. So
yeah, like think about it. Hey, you like, if you look at my story, I wasn't supposed to be there. You know, like if you look at my track of being a pro, it's not traditional. So I didn't necessarily feel like I was like the fan favorite, you know? So it's like I had to do something to play, like I had to play. So like how do I play? And like in order for me to play, I have to play confident, like I deserved to be there. And that was my goal, is like figure out why I deserve to be here. And like cool, like if I had to stand in the Superman-ish or half Superman or Superwoman pose, like I will, but I feel like I was in that position where like I had to be like that.
Good for you. I love that. I think that's going to help a lot of young listeners on this Dream On episode too. So thank you for sharing that. All right, we're into our last segment here. It's called Quick Finishes, you know, just like lax.
Okay.
So quick finishes. I'm just going to like rattle off some random questions. We're going to get to know you a little bit and then we'll wrap up. Sound good?
Okay.
All right. Pizza or tacos? Okay. Favorite place you've traveled to? Whoa, why can't I hear you? Uh-oh.
Italy.
Oh, there you go. Okay. If you didn't play lacrosse, what sport would you want to play professionally?
Golf.
Ooh, new one, right?
Yeah, new one.
Into it? Love it. Me too. One band or artist that you'd want to see in concert right now?
Snoop Dogg.
Love that. Is he performing at the Super Bowl halftime, right?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I was just like, this is insane. We gotta do this.
Mountains or beaches?
Beaches.
One thing on your bucket list.
Get my skydiving license to skydive in countries I travel.
Ooh, okay. So not just go skydiving, you want to like actually have a license.
Like, yeah, like if I go to Italy again, like I want to be able to like skydive in Italy.
There.
The wishful thinking. Who knows if that's gonna happen, but that's on the bucket list.
That's a cool one. Okay. Go to karaoke song.
Jesse McCartney, Beautiful Soul.
Oh, great song. Okay, last one. One athlete that has inspired you.
Gabby Douglas.
Love it. Love that. Okay, awesome. That kind of wraps us up, but I'd love for you to kind of like, this is a shameless plug right now, but please plug yourself for our listeners here. Where can they find you? Social media, YouTube, where, anything along those lines? Where can they find you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm mostly on the gram, you know, Smangy. Yeah, the gram is most of my stuff. I tweet sometimes, but don't take anything I tweet personally. And then Facebook's like non-existent. So
I love it.
Find me on the gram.
Find her on the gram. Angie, I love that. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for spending an hour and 15 minutes with me in the middle of your Wednesday. I told you it'd be nice and light and have a lot of fun. And I know that a lot of our listeners are going to take a lot of little like wisdom nuggets, as I like to call them, from this episode, because I know that I did. And I think it's, you know, it was really great to just kind of get to know inside Angie, right? And like what goes on in your head and like why you have so much motivation each and every day and what you show on social media and the background behind it. I think it's really special and I hope you never stop finding that competition. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It was really fun.
Awesome. I'm glad you had fun. See you next time, Dream On listeners. Thank you for listening.
Taking a quick little time out from our episode here to say a massive thank you for listening. Dream On started off as a way to have conversations with some of the people that I've been lucky to come in contact with and really dig deep into what makes them tick and how they've become so elite in their spaces. If you're enjoying these conversations as much as I have been, please consider rating us with a solid 5 stars and leave us a review. I love hearing all of your incredible thoughts on how we can continue to dream on together with these episodes. Oh, and subscribe if you're feeling cool. All right, let's get back to our guest.